Hi, my name is Jeff and welcome back to my workshop. Today we're going to be working on this Walthers ready to run wood-sided caboose. This will get painted in the blue and tan scheme of the Cincinnati, Chicago, St. Paul, and Pacific, just like the F7s we did in a previous season. Link for that paint job on those will be, link to that playlist will be in the description below. So as we unbox, the first thing you notice is the part thing with the with looks like clear plastic pieces for the glazing in there. A bag of parts is taped to the bottom, and we also have a packet with couplers and grab irons in here. So we'll need all of that later. We'll also have to drill out the dimple holes on this car side for the grab irons. The first step with any painting project is disassembly. So, quick examination of the car. Couplers are held in by screws. Same thing with the trucks. And the roof pops right off. We may have to secure that when we're done with a little bit of glue. We'll see how well it holds. We've got an interior in here, so we'll start by removing that. We'll have to figure out a paint scheme for that as well. The floor will probably be a wood looking floor. Most cabooses I've seen have like a green cushions on the seats, so we'll probably do something along those lines as well. It looks like there's 3 screws that hold the car body to the underframe and hold the interior in place. And there's the weight for the car underneath. Something else we'll have to do is check that weight, and if we need to, we can try and figure out how to add some weight to this. Okay, so the first thing I did was paint the car body. I used the same blue that I used on the F7s. This is an aquamarine from Vallejo. It's a rattle can. Their hobby spray paint. And then I'm using the same desert yellow to paint the trim. Because it's such tight masking, I've decided to hand paint the trim on these. When I'm hand painting, you can see I'm really choked up on the brush, so I've got good control of the brush tip, and I've got my hand anchored against the model, so I can just get along the edges of the door frame and just catch those, and along the bottom, tops and sides, and then I can get the interior of the door filled in when I'm done. I'll turn the model as I need to get the right angle, but this helps me keep a steady hand on it and go slow and straight. This is a technique that I have taken years to develop. It works well for me. So if you've ever had trouble hand painting things, give this a try. It does take practice, so practice on something you don't really care about. Get an old car that you can get for $1 or $1.50 at a trade show, and give painting window frames or something like that on a pet car a try. By the way, if you are enjoying this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. I'd love to hear what you think of it or your own techniques, so please leave a comment below. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do. I post new videos every Thursday with a short on Monday. Sometimes the shorts are related to the current project in the video. Sometimes they're random modeling or train enthusiasm videos. So it just depends on what I'm doing. So you'll notice I keep turning the model as I'm going. I just want to make sure I'm getting all the little nooks and crannies in that door painted. Once the paint has dried, now we need to mask so we can paint the bottom of the car body. That'll get a grimy black color. I'm using Vallejo model spray. Panzer Gray, which is a dark gray. You've seen me use this before. And to mask this, I'm going to use masking tape. This is Tamira tape. Just going to put a stretch along the bottom and just catch the edge. The nice thing about the Tamira tape is that it has a clean edge, so I don't have to cut it first to get a clean edge like I do with the blue painter's tape. I'm going to do one layer all the way around the edge right there, and then to prevent overspray, on this case I'm going to use some newspaper because I have some, and tape that on to that first layer of tape to mask the car body with that. The thing I like about using a mask like this is it's less likelihood that you're going to pull paint off of something that's already done than with the painter's tape. But I also happen to have newspaper on hand, and I'm out of blue painter's tape. I need to get a new roll because it's actually cheaper than the newspapers right now at the current price of newspapers. I just want to measure the side and make sure I've got a piece large enough. And then again, I can use the masking tape to along the edge of the newspaper. And just kind of wrapping it around, making sure I'm getting the whole body set. Once this is done, I'll use an old paper towel tube as a paint holder so that I can paint the bottom of the car. I'm also going to paint the underframe unit on both the underside, and I'll also do the steps and end platforms the same black. I'm also going to use the same technique to mask off around the walls of the cupola so that I can paint its roof, which will be a metallic silver, as will the roof piece on the car. I'll do most of that off camera because it's basically the same thing you're seeing here. It'll just be painted a different color. Where the pages overlap, I'm going to put a little bit of tape there just to make sure paint doesn't leak in there. You want to make sure you seal up any tears with tape if you have to. Again, you want to make sure that this color doesn't leak in and get onto the car sides that I've spent so much time painting. that done, the paper towel tube just gets inserted into the car, and it's ready to go to the paint shop and get a coat of paint. Okay, I'm going to go take care of that and painting it. Once that paint has dried, we'll come back and unmask it and make sure we got everything done cleanly. Okay. You can see there's the underframe of the trucks, which also got painted the same color. And as we pull the masking off, we'll take a look and see how we did. When removing the tape, make sure you take a little bit of care to pull it off at a sharp angle so you don't hopefully take off any paint with the tape. And we got a nice clean car side. So the next thing we're going to do with this is give it a gloss coat and get it ready for decaling, which we will be doing in our next video. And then we can work on the interior and start working on reassembling everything. Please stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed this and look forward to sharing my next adventure with you.